In today's video, why you can't lose weight fasting. Hey guys, what's going on? This is Paul Ravello from ProPhysique.com. In today's video, we're going to discuss intermittent fasting. And if you enjoy talking and learning about nutrition, training, well, hit subscribe. That's what I love to do here. I love to answer your questions. And today's question comes from right here on my Instagram direct message. So please send me your questions. I love to answer them. And for today's topic, I'm going to dig into intermittent fasting. Let me read it and let's get into it. It's been like a week since we started fasting. And during that time, I've been working out. But sadly, I can't seem to lose weight. I don't know why. Fasting. What is it? Well, before we can discuss the pros and cons of a fasting approach, you have to understand that all research has been very short term in humans. So a lot of what we have to do is look at the anecdote and look at the reasons why something may or may not work. You also need to understand that there's not just one form of fasting. There are many forms of fasting. The most popular that I've seen being the 16-8, where you fast for 16 hours a day and you fit all your meals into those 8. I actually did a video series a while back where I took this approach for a little bit of time. There's also alternate day fasting. This is a very popular model that I found in a lot of the PubMed research that I looked up on fasting. There's also another model called a 5-2 fast, and there are proponents of even more aggressive style of fasting like water fasting, dry fasting. I'm not going to get into that today, but just understand that when we talk about fasting, it's not just one thing. So the first reason that we're going to talk about why you're not losing weight while you're fasting is that although fasting may have some benefits, and for a lot of people I've certainly seen it work wonders, you still need to create an energy deficit, okay? An energy balance is going to determine whether or not we're successful with weight loss. Just because you're fasting does not mean you can eat in excess of calories of what you burn every day and expect to lose weight. So there still needs to be some accountability with what you're eating in the hours that you do consume calories, as well as your activity during the day. This is how we create a negative energy balance over a 24, 48 hour window, perhaps a week, and we focus on losing weight gradually this way, not just by restricting the times at which we eat. A study I found, which I'll link below, put 100 people in a fat loss research study, and it gave them 3 different approaches. One group was a normal restrictive calorie approach. They just restricted their calories and they ate their normal time patterns. Another group did a fasting approach with alternate day fasting. And another group just ate their normal way. Well, the 2 groups that restricted calories and fasted actually lost the same amount of weight, very similar. So there was not necessarily a benefit when it came to fasting versus not fasting, as long as you're taking a caloric deficit approach. Also to note, 38% of the participants in the fasting approach with the alternate day fast dropped out of the study. So this tells us that fasting is potentially not for everybody. Now, a lot of people love to talk about the benefits that come with fasting. You know, things like hormonal benefits, things like, insulin sensitivity, perhaps even autophagy. But these studies are all in animals. And while they're promising, they don't directly correlate to us. And the research has not been replicated in humans yet. So you have to take that for what it is. In fact, there is no strong evidence that fasting adds health benefits over any other type of weight loss diet. I found this quote from Dr. Deborah Wexler. There is evidence to suggest that a certain circadian rhythm fasting approach where meals are restricted to an 8 to 10 hour period of the daytime is effective. And it's odd because this is how I've come to find the most successful approach for myself. I typically eat my first meal around 8 a.m. I typically eat my last meal around 7 p.m. So I'm typically fasting for 13 hours a day. This is an unintentional fast, and you have certainly probably fasted as well. If you were running late to work and you just skipped breakfast and got to work and then just had your coffee. If you've been too busy studying and you forgot to eat. I think we've all experienced fasting. It's a part of our biology. Fasting is not starving, okay? When you fast for periods of time, you're just breaking down the nutrients that are stored in our body. Our body is very good at storing nutrients. In fact, that's what fat is. Those people that are very, very fat can actually get away with not eating for a very long time. I've actually done a video on the gentleman in England who did not eat for over a year. He fasted for an entire year and was able to survive and get back down several hundred pounds. Now, this was medically supervised and it was in England in the 60s, so you have to take that for what it is, but you can certainly do it for a long period of time. Now, fasting has some proponents that love this style of dieting. And one thing that I've learned in all my time in this fitness-focused world is that whenever something works for us, we tend to really hyper-focus on it. That's why I love talking about flexible dieting. I love to shout the praises of the things that have worked for me. But I'm not blind to the fact that there are many ways to be successful. My only problem lies with people that talk about things as if they're fact when they're not. So as much as I think fasting can be a great protocol, I don't think it's right for everybody, and there are some inherent problems with it. So you still need to be focusing on your overall energy balance. My friend, weight loss is not complicated. The complication comes in that there is so much misinformation out there. You need to create a negative energy balance. You do this through being aware of what you're taking in and how much you're moving. And if the scale is not dropping, and if you are not losing body fat, you are simply not in a caloric deficit. Therefore, you need to change the equation. Either consume less energy or burn more. And that's it. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me today. I hope you're having an awesome day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.